return of the crooked one in 2020 without proving any actual proof. Liberal rag Politico thinks so, considering she could barely get through the 2016 election without collapsing. Oh wait, she did collapse. Anyway, the point: if she did not have the stamina this time around, imagine 2020. We don't think she could, even with a DNC nomination. If she does. From Politico: Hillary Clinton will run for president again. No inside information informs this prediction. No argument is advanced as to whether her run is a good or a bad idea. There are many ways to make a case either way. Instead, this is just a statement of simple facts, if facts mean anything anymore. That is, and the facts are clear that the former Secretary of State is doing everything she needs to do to run for the White House one more time. If she finds a path to do so, she will take it, and I can prove it. Consider, shortly after Clinton's shock the world, hysteria-inducing defeat last November, the Clinton Global Initiative announced plans to cease operations. The CGI, the most scandal-plagued arm of the Clinton Foundation, was a ground zero of grief for the Clinton campaign. Labeled a slush fund for political operations, paid for by foreign governments, it was an endless and easy target of complaints about conflicts of interest and graft. Yet despite pleas to do so by various supporters throughout the 2016 campaign, the Clintons time and again refused to shut it down. Which raises the question, what advantage, other than a political one, is there to doing so now? Similarly, why did the Clintons allow rumors to circulate, rumors they still haven't officially quashed, that the former Secretary of State might be considering a run for mayor of New York City? For the thrill of it, out of spite toward the current mayor, who supported her candidacy for the White House? Or might there be another reason to keep alive the idea that Hillary Clinton's political fortunes aren't in the rear-view mirror? This month, Clinton signed a book deal with Simon & Schuster. That alone isn't noteworthy. This, after all, would be her 7th book, if you count her campaign policy venture Insomnia Cure, Stronger Together. But added to all the other activities afoot, it raises a few questions. Does she really have that much more to say? Or might there be another reason, besides money, that she does not need to go on a book tour, answer humiliating questions about losing to Donald Trump, and stay in the headlines? And just days ago, Clinton trolled Trump on Twitter over the courtroom defeat of his executive order banning citizens from 7 majority Muslim nations. She didn't have to do that. Of course, most defeated rivals disappear after their loss. Instead, Clinton sounded very much like she was still on the campaign trail. Because, of course, she is. Finally, consider last November's concession speech to Trump. Absent in her remarks was any indication, as one might have expected, that she was going gentle into that goodnight, handing the baton to a new generation or even to a new leader. Instead, Clinton talked more about the future, explicitly including herself in that future, than she did about the past. I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday, someone will, she said, adding, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now. She then quoted a line of scripture, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season, we shall reap if we do not lose heart." And she concluded, tellingly, with this, "So my friends, let us have faith in each other, let us not grow weary, let us not lose heart, for there are more seasons to come and there is more work to do." This was not Richard Nixon's bitter "you won't have Nixon" to kick around anymore when he lost a race for governor in 1962 and thought his political career was over. This was someone looking ahead, more seasons to come. At the moment, of course, the idea of another Clinton presidential campaign, what would be the 5th since 1992, seems outlandish, even exhausting. Who'd want to go through all that mess again? But 4 years is plenty of time for memories to subside. And it's true that in another era, a candidate Clinton's age might have been deemed too old for the presidency. But in 2020, Hillary Clinton will be 73, 1 year younger than the incumbent seeking re-election. Also in another era, her political career might have been seen as having passed its expiration date. She's twice run for the White House and lost. But Ronald Reagan didn't think that way. He ran in 1968, and again in 1976, nearly beating the incumbent Gerald Ford for the GOP nomination, before his ultimate victory in 1980. Besides, consider the alternative, having a chance to run for a third time and squandering it. Al Gore first sought the presidency in 1988 and then again in 2000, when he won the popular vote against George W. Bush and came within a few hundred hanging chads of winning the decisive state of Florida. Anyone think Gore still doesn't wonder what might have happened had he pursued a rematch against Bush 4 years later? As it happens, Bush barely beat John Kerry in 2004. 50.7% to 48.3%. More recent history might well be very different today if Mitt Romney had made a third run for the presidency in 2016, which, by most accounts, he was sorely tempted to do and on more than one occasion. Romney, too, almost assuredly is still asking himself whether he made a mistake by staying out. Clinton is not going to want to spend the rest of her life haunted by the question of what if? What if I could run again and win? Besides, seeking the White House has been her aspiration for decades. What else is there for her to do? Yes, barring some calamity, Clinton is running. And this brave columnist will go one step further. Not only will Clinton run again, she has an excellent shot at getting the Democratic Party nomination again, but only if she approaches it quite differently. Here's some advice for her. It's news exposed signing off.